we think the single first most important strategy decision you need to make is what is the word or two you can own in the minds of the marketplace. And by the way, I don't think you can own much more than that. When we had our first child, my wife wanted the safest automobile. Now, nobody can own the word automobile, but what car did we buy? A Volvo. They own that position in most of our minds. BMW has driven their strategy for decades around two words: the driving experience. It's even their tagline, the ultimate driving machine. You can even go out and get a driving experience in a particular BMW. We've got a client that I love called Trench Safety. That's the name of the company. And it's very clear what they do. If you're a construction company and you don't want a trench collapsing and killing some of your people, you want to go to this company that will make sure that your trench is safe. Trench Safety. And so, what is that word or two that you can own in the minds of your marketplace? By the way, that means that you must hyper-specialize. If you're trying to be everything to everybody, nobody can find you. And the key tool here, because 87% of everyone, B2B, B2C, B2I, trying to figure out who they want to do business with, goes to the search engines. And so what you want to do here, and it's geo-specific, is go to the search engines and put in the words or two you think you own in the minds of the market and see if you pop up first or second versus some of your lesser competitors. And then you want to use those search engine ad tools that they've got to figure out that if these are the two words you think you own, here are the words that people search on a lot more. This is a mistake I make. I own Growth Guy around the planet. Anywhere you search it, you put in Growth Guy, I show up. The problem is nobody searches on it. And those who do, it's more the Viagra growth guy than the kind of growth that I'm really wanting to focus on with companies. And so we know the word that we want to own, and we're getting about it here in 2014. And so, what is that word? By the way, I took a picture of this when I was down in Australia. This is strategy at its simplest. We are number one in the number two business. And there it is, right on the back. If you need poop pumped, this is the company that can do it. And they own the market and mind share in Sydney, Australia. And so, what is that word or two you think you can own? And we think that's the single most important first of the 7 decisions you need to make to formulate a killer strategy. Now, 3M, we've all known what their word is, which is innovation. And in fact, the biggest award you can win, the Oscar of that company, is the Innovation Award. And they put out 1,000 new products alone last year. Nike, it's all about supporting, enhancing, encouraging the competitive spirit that's within all of us. And by the way, if you're not highly competitive, you're not going to make it at that particular company. And even their boardrooms and all their meeting rooms are named after highly competitive people. This is the spirit, the why. It's not selling overpriced tennis shoes as the particular heart of the business. Disney clearly put a smile on people's face. By the way, they've had smiles on the kids' faces, not the adults' faces. And so that's why they've recently launched this new Disney Band, so that you don't have to wait in line any longer than 5 to 10 minutes to do anything at the Disney parks. And so they've stayed focused on making sure at the end of the day we put a smile on everybody's face. Even Walmart, one of the largest companies in the world, still sees themselves as Robin Hood. When Sam Walton launched that company, his mission was very clear. I just want poor folk to have the same things that rich people can have. And you see their little symbol. It's a smiley face with a Robin Hood hat and an arrow shooting down prices. And so you don't have to agree with it, but this is what really powers the heart and soul of Walmart moving forward. Microsoft, I even had to look up how to spell this word. You'd expect this to have been a word of Bill Gates, and that was ubiquity. The fact that they always believed that the full power of technology would never be realized until it was 100% ubiquitous. You might call that monopoly, and that's why you never had a problem with it. Because it's only our ability to be able to share Word documents and PowerPoints and all of that with anyone around the planet is something that no government could have achieved, and something that company first, Microsoft, was able to pull off. But the one that I think really is a great example. If they can figure it out, any of us can, and that is Starbucks. Look, you got teenagers selling overpriced coffee. Okay, let's be clear on the kind of the product offering. How are you going to keep folks excited about that? Well, every one of you as a leader needs a stump speech. You need this inspirational message that you just repeat over and over and over for the next 40 years. And here is Howard Schultz. Look, I grew up in the projects of New Jersey, and all I ever wanted to do was escape. And in fact, all humans, in order to have a fulfilling life, have always needed three places. They needed a sense of home, they needed a sense of work, and then they've always needed a third place. Now, historically, that third place had always been either the church, people went to church every single day, or the bar. And by the way, if you're in Ireland, they're right next to each other. So you can just kind of rotate, rinse, and repeat, every 24 hours. But the bar and church have kind of lost fashion for a majority of folks. And so they always have felt that Starbucks is that other third place. That third place where hardworking homemakers and truck drivers and entrepreneurs who've had a rough day and a rough life can go for just a moment and have somebody make them an affordable luxury. That's Howard Schultz's story. And by the way, when they shut the company down for that famous one day to reboot Starbucks, it wasn't about how to make better lattes. It was all to remind everybody that, yeah, we sell coffee and some other stuff, but our real purpose is to be this escape for folks for just a few minutes in this comfortable area where they've got Wi-Fi and we've made them this affordable luxury, and they can just escape for the pressures and stresses of the world for just a moment. And so, here, I want you to be crystal clear. What's your word?